For this first episode, what better place to start off than learning a little bit about the city's history? We're here at the Firehouse Jail Museum to learn a little bit about Covina's history, its past, and what it has to offer. You also have an opportunity to check out their books that they sell for $20 a piece. They're open Sundays from 1 to 3 p.m. So let's go ahead and take a look.
This is the Covina Valley Historical Society Firehouse Jail Museum. It's divided into two portions. This is the jail portion. We have 4 cells. One of them is a demonstration cell in which we put all our celebrities and our visitors. We could show you what it's like if you like. Come on over. This is it's one of 4 cells where we put all our visitors go in there. It was a jail for 63 years. In 1979, the Covina Valley Historical Society opened it as a museum. On this side is the jail. And this portion is where we start with the orange industry, the major portion of it. There's a picture up there showing Covina in 1941 surrounded by all the orange ranches. The picture up there shows all the orange ranches surrounding little old Covina. It had about 2,000 people at that point. The population changed radically after World War II when all the GIs came back from the Pacific Theater of Operations, and they liked California a lot more than they liked Wisconsin and Iowa, and so they changed our population from about 4,000 people in 1950 to about 20,000 in 1960. So Covina has grown radically since. This side of the museum is dedicated to people who have made all kinds of donations that are related to Covina and its history. We go back past earlier than 1960. We don't do anything much later than 1960. And over here in this corner, we describe the rise and demise of the orange industry. Over here we have a number of smudge pots that were used to protect the trees when the temperatures fell to a certain degree. Over here we show a ladder and a picking bag for oranges. And over here we show a small demonstration of what an orange a field box would look like. And here we have pictures of the industry showing mostly women doing the work in the orange industry. It was a great necessity, and there were two periods of time during the year when the oranges were picked. In June we had the Valencias, and in December we had the navel oranges, which came along in about 1895, and that really put Covina on the map. In about 1895, the Southern Pacific decided to put a train spur into Covina, and then we built 12 packing houses along that spur, and Covina started having a great shipping from this point. We were one of the greatest shipping points of oranges in the United States. Some people say the greatest, but we won't go into politics on that. But it was one of those things. Unfortunately, the orange industry demised around the same time the population grew, because the orange ranchers sold their property to build the houses for all the people that came into Covina. So all the orange ranches you saw disappeared because of the population growth. And so by 1960, the orange industry pretty well disappeared in Covina. But because we had a great area of commerce in Covina, we kept our great town, and we had all of these things you see in Covina that you don't see in a lot of the other small towns that just don't have the kind of growth that Covina had. Covina now has 50,000 something people, whereas smaller places like Santa Paula and Santa Maria have, they've got a house here and a house there. But we don't brag, not too much. I'm going to tell you a little about our most famous person in Covina. We named a street after her. Her name, we called it Lark Ellen. Her real name is Ellen Beach Yaw. She was a famous opera singer in the early 1890s and 1900s. This is a better portrait of her. So yes, she was so famous. She was world famous. She could sing 4 octaves. Most people can barely squawk out a single octave. I know I can squawk out a quarter of an octave. We have the reason we have such contact with Lark Ellen is she had 2 homes in Covina over the years. At one home, she actually built an amphitheater. She was able to perform for her friends until she passed a number of years ago. It is a bookcase carrying cardinals from Covina High School going way back to the early 1900s and running up to the current era. They have just been updated, and on top of that are many of the trophies that were won by Covina over the period of time. Sugar Bowl was a hangout for the Covina High School students for many, many years in the 30s and 40s and 50s. It turns out that at one point they made a movie called Hanging Out Sugar Bowl, and they used our Sugar Bowl in Covina, and then they included our Sugar Bowl in the comic strip called Harold Teen. So you can see that there are some pictures of the characters from the movie, and here you have some of the menus. It's a little hard to see on the screen, but there they are.
I have the